Hi Sagittarius, welcome back. So Sagittarius, this is going to be your reading for mid-November. Not going to be for all of you, but if it does resonate, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Overall energy is the moon, which is highlighting your feelings, your subconscious mind, your instinct, your gut instinct, right? It talks also about like comfort, wanting the comfort zone, digestion on like a physical form. So watch your digestion. Talks about like home and family, your habits, your conditioning. It's a feminine vibe. So whether you're a male or female, I feel you'll be tapping more into the feminine pieces of you. Okay, we all have masculine and feminine within ourselves. It's a very private energy, so I do feel like during this time period, Sagittarius, you're going to be keeping feelings to yourself, or it might be best to keep some feelings to yourself, okay? Especially like if you're very moody or you're very emotional during this time frame. For others of you, it's just like this wanting to be surrounded by the comfort of people that you love, or whatever makes you feel in that comfortable type of energy. Okay, watch any like wanting to self-soothe vibes. So I guess just don't go overboard with it, right? And then as I say, you're going to be a bit closed off. Here's the High Priestess. So this energy really doesn't share a whole lot. You know, you see a lot, you think a lot, you feel a lot, but not necessarily an open book during this time frame. Okay, so I feel that's your energy, right? Then you have the Knave of Pentacles, the Knave of Swords, and the Four of Wands. So two knaves, right? So that's the Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords in traditional tarot. I feel like both talk about kind of a youthful energy. Both carry a caution, so be careful about what you invest in during this time frame, and be careful about where you put your thoughts, right? So make sure you're seeing all of what you need to see. Make sure you're reading the fine print. You know, the Page of Swords is kind of like a naive energy, so I feel like you're really going to I guess like very much pay attention, like study, read into things, right? Because also the Knave of Swords is someone who's looking into something. So especially like if your intuition is telling you to look deeper, then I guess you need to follow that during this time frame, okay? Because I do feel that there's a chance that someone might be trying to pull the wool over your eyes, okay? And I feel like you need to be very discerning with this vibe, Sagittarius. Four of Wands in this deck talks about going back and forth. Now, typically the Four of Wands energy, Sagittarius, would be a very stable, home-oriented energy. But in this deck, it talks about some fluctuations in that. So maybe dealing with some fluctuations within the home environment, particularly if you are overindulging or self-soothing, like I said earlier, or someone in the environment is, right? Now you have the Queen of Wands energy here. So I feel like this is kind of going back and forth between like wanting to stick with the tried and true and then wanting to be more independent and outspoken. It's a very interesting vibe here. Sagittarius. Yeah, Two of Wands. In this deck, it talks about having a conversation here, okay? Needing to have a conversation during this time period, or kind of being at a crossroads. Five of Pentacles. Feeling at a loss. What in the world? Sagittarius. Let me get some more cards out and see where this is going. So then Two of Swords, lots of twos here. I feel like, okay, here's the caution during this time frame. See it for what it is, not what you want it to be. Okay, and I think in maybe Leo's reading, I had a song come up that the song lyric was, what it is, what it isn't. So you might be linked to Leo for a few of you, not all of you. But it's like, here's the vibe I'm getting, Sagittarius. You might have, like, you have ideas about where you want to take things, whether that's in love or career, but it's kind of like going back and forth, and I don't feel like you have all of the information. I think that the goal is to be, you know, the fiery temptress that you are, or if you're a male, you know, the fiery male that you are, Sagittarius. But like kind of being at a crossroads, fearing loss maybe, or it's like you don't have enough information to push this energy forward. But if you're patient enough, intuition will guide you in the right direction. So I feel like having privacy during this time period and nurturing yourself and not ignoring your gut instinct is going to be super important during this time period, okay? Because I also feel like there's an energy of either you're wanting people to see something that's not necessarily the truth, or someone in your environment is doing that. It's like, to me as well, like this energy is like getting attention, but yet feeling left out. So it's like this, Sagittarius, you can get attention from all of the people that you want in the world. But if it isn't the person that you want it from, does it matter? You know, I feel like that's what you're thinking, or someone you're dealing with is, because it's like, okay, or, you know, if they're inconsistent with their attention too. So it's like you have their full attention and then you feel left out. And then they may come back around, or the energy comes back around, but now they don't have your attention. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a dog chasing its tail. I don't even know if I'm making sense. For others of you, it's just this energy of, it's a caution about being naive, you know, putting yourself out there and then wanting to retract that later on. So be careful with that energy. It ends on the Empress, so I like this. So that, I feel like patience is a virtue, which Sagittarius is not naturally given. And you know that's the truth, okay? Sagittarius ain't the most patient sign. That's why you're represented by Temperance, needing to learn that. And as I say that, what's at the bottom of the deck? Temperance. But this time frame is calling you to be patient. Empress, Hanged Man, Seven of Cups. There's too much confusion here, and you're almost too much of an emotional being, or in an emotional state during this time frame, that to really push anything forward. So I guess like the next 2 weeks is just kind of asking you to take a time out, because there's too much confusion here, and needing to work on self-care is going to be important during this time period. Okay? So, Sagittarius, I'm going to check on the person you're dealing with now. If you're not interested in that, you can end the video there. For the rest of you, we're going to start with who Sagittarius is dealing with during this time frame. Okay, so I just had 2 cards bounce off of each other, and my initial thoughts were bouncing ideas off of each other. So you may be doing that with this person, or needing to do that. Justice card out first. So I feel like whoever you're dealing with, they're trying to find, you know, their own balance, but they also don't have enough information, or they can't see themselves. They can't see themselves clearly in the way that you see them, I feel. So it's like, how can they have balance when they don't have all of the information? But that's what they're seeking. This person wants to move forward, okay? 8 of Wands is movement forward. It's also a communicative energy. So this person might be communicating during this time period, and or it's just like wanting to move forward. Like I said, there's a possibility of travel for this person during this time period. But I feel like this also talks about, I feel this person feels that you should be the one to communicate first in order to move things forward, for things to be justified. And that's actually what they're wishing for. Like for you to express first or communicate first, or maybe that's always the expectation, that this is someone that you're constantly dealing with. Like they always expect you to take the action first, right? But at the same time, 9 of Cups, you know, that would give them emotional fulfillment. Don't let them tell you otherwise. I'll tell you that. I think that this person has either regrets here, Sagittarius, or they have this energy where they're focusing on, you know, what they don't have instead of what they have. It's like they're so busy looking at what was lost that they often have a hard time, like sometimes focusing on what actually emotionally fulfills them, which if they were present in the present moment or took this blinder off here, they would easily see. But I get this expectation that this person wants you to do that for them. I don't know why. Then I have the Queen of Pentacles here. So this is more of a earthy energy. So I feel like this person is wanting to be grounded. I feel like if you are like being kind of in your emotions and esoteric and all of that during this time frame, and with the moon energy, I feel that this person is more like a practical energy. They're more like, why don't you bring it back down to earth, Sagittarius? Okay, because like, what are the bare bone facts? You know, like that's just an example, but I feel like that's this person's energy, right? Like, okay, you let me know when you're ready to come back down to earth, okay? Because I feel like that's how this person's like a very practical energy during this time frame. You know, they're looking to invest in new opportunities as well, and might be very focused on the home as well, or their career, okay, for a few of you. The High Priestess here is, I feel like this person has, it's so funny because like here they are wanting to be practical, maybe finding you impractical during this time frame, but yeah, also they're connecting with their esoteric self. You know, the High Priestess here is someone who actually has an incredible amount of intuition, or is able to see deeper into things when they take the blindfold off. Okay? But I also feel like this person can take that energy and it can turn into a very assumptive energy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's hard to discern between intuition and assumption, or placing like our own perception and assuming that that's true also for the other person. And so that's what I feel here. Like, especially if you're not expressing yourself or being very open during this time frame, then I feel like there's a lot of assumptions going on this person's side, because they're more of like a practical energy. Like they may have a hard time. They may actually read too far in between the lines, or have a hard time reading you during this time frame. Then they have the 10 of Wands. So I feel like this is heavy. This is a heavy energy over here for this person, you know. And then the 7 of Pentacles, trying to be patient with the situation, because I feel like either they feel it's worth investing time and energy into, or they have already done that. Yeah. And then the Fool energy. This person's wanting to definitely unburden themselves here. Definitely. Okay, so some of you are linked to Aquarius or have that in your chart, because I had this song come up in Aquarius's reading and I hear it now again. And it's called Rise Up by Andra Day. I think that's her name. And I rise up all through the day. I rise up. I rise up. It's a beautiful song. It's about overcoming. And I feel like that's what this person wants to do. They want to rise up over this situation here. But feeling defeated, not able to do that. Very slow moving energy. Like I said, you know, like the practicality here is such a stark contrast from what intuitively they actually feel. So like you could be dealing with someone, Sagittarius, that ignores their own intuition, at least during this time frame, you know, and subconsciously they may be blocking it, but they don't even know it. And it gets in their way because in the beginning there's balance, there's movement forward, progress, emotional fulfillment, and then this bubble up of negativity here, and then being very practical about it, like, this is how it is, you know, and then this other part about wanting to be steadfast, but yet very youthful energy underneath that. Very complex personality here. And let's see, in contrast to you, you're also the High Priestess. Also tapping into the subconscious, the emotions, your moods. You know? Oh my gosh, I got a song. I can't, that's rated R. It's a Biggie Smalls song. But the lyric that came to mind is not to be effed with, not to be fucked with. Get your game. I know all of the lyrics to this song. I'm trying to think of the main line. It's bonin' Biggie, Biggie. It's bonin' Biggie, Biggie. It's bonin' Biggie, Biggie. Let's ride. Let's ride. It's Bone Thugs and Harmony and Biggie Smalls, and it was super, super popular. Late 90s, early 2000s. And obviously I grew up during that time period and I liked rap. I still like that song, but it's an X-rated song, so listen to it with your headphones on. But the lyric that came to mind, that whole song I don't think is for you, but the lyric that came to mind was not to be effed with. And that's how I feel your energy is, because you're a bit moody. You know, just to be quite honest with you, it's like when you want attention, you want it right then and there. When you want to be left alone, you better leave your Saggy alone, because they don't want to be effed with, you know? So I think you're trying to get a hold of that during this time frame, Sagittarius. So yeah. Zodiac signs you might be dealing with. Aries. Earth. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. A lot of earth energy here. Cancer, Libra. Could be Taurus. Another fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, or I felt Aquarius earlier, Pisces. So those could be placements in your chart or the person's chart you're dealing with. It's going to be different for all of you. If it resonated, please do like, share, and subscribe. Also check out my social media account links down below, as well as my other YouTube. I'm going to be doing some tarot tutorials there if you'd like to join me. Make sure you subscribe so you get the notification. Also, if you click on the little pink hoodie underneath my video, you can go into my shop, get any hoodie in any color with your tarot sign printed on the back and TTWD, Tarot Time with Dana, on the front. I like them. Check them out. Love you so much. Wishing you the best. Sagittarius. Till next time. Namaste.